So we are doing theories of bonding in coordination compounds. We know that there are three main theories in your PUC syllabus: Warner's theory, valency bond theory, crystal field theory. In the previous video, we have seen the details about Warner's theory. We have seen drawbacks also. Now in this video, we are going to learn about valency bond theory. Valency bond theory, I'm not going to discuss complete details. I'm just going to give introduction only for this video. In the next class only, I'm going to discuss the details about valency bond theory more. Valency bond theory, we also call in short form VBT. So valency bond theory is proposed by Linus Pauling, scientist name Pauling. And according to this theory, the postulates are: bonding in coordination compounds is due to overlapping of orbitals of ligands and metal atom. Kindly note, we are talking about coordination compounds. When I talk about coordination compound, what is must? Metal atom must be there. Then we have ligands. Then we have counter ions. We may have, we may not have sometimes. But metal is must. Ligands are must. So, according to first point, the bonding in coordination compound is due to overlapping of orbitals of ligands and metal. Metal and ligands are overlapping. What is the meaning of overlapping? You must be knowing. I'm just giving it. If at all we have s orbital, one more s orbital I have. So we have one electron in s orbital, one more electron. What is the meaning of overlapping? So when they come together, so there will be a covalent bond formation here. This is called as overlapping. What overlapping called as? S orbital overlap we call as SS overlapping. In the same way, if you see coordination compounds, here the metal will have orbitals and ligand is ammonia. So the bond is formed between metal and ligand. So bonding in coordination compound due to overlapping of orbitals of ligands, ammonia and N, and orbitals of metal. So first point, I repeat, bonding in coordination compounds is due to overlapping of orbitals of ligand and metal atom. Next, ligands use orbitals which have lone pair of electrons, and metal atom uses vacant orbitals. Very important point, look at this. I have metal, I have ligand. Both should form a bond. So a bond is here is because of overlapping orbitals. Let us say the metal will have one orbital like this. Let us say the ligand will have one orbital like this. If metal and ligand orbitals has to overlap, you require two electrons. There are two options. If metal have one electron and ligand have one electron, the bond can be formed, we call as covalent bond. There is a peculiar situation where metal will have empty orbital, meaning no electron. Ligand will have two electrons. But we have total two electrons. So meaning ligand is donating two electrons to metal, and metal is just taking the two electrons. So ligand is a donor, metal is a acceptor, and this type of bond is called as coordinate bond. The bond that is formed because of sharing of electrons and the sharing one atom will give 2 electrons for the bond formation, whereas other atom does not give any electron. So this is called as coordinate bond. So in the coordination compounds, the ligand will be giving one pair of electrons. You can see here, N will be giving a pair of electrons, and cobalt will be taking it. Arrow mark should be from nitrogen to cobalt. Same way, everywhere nitrogen gives lone pair of electron, nitrogen gives lone pair of electrons, nitrogen gives, arrow mark should be like this, meaning nitrogen is giving, cobalt is taking, the meaning of that. Right. So what is the meaning of the second point? Once again I'll repeat. So ligands use orbitals which have lone pair of electrons. We have seen there, which have lone pair of electrons. You can see here, lone pair of electrons. Whereas metal use vacant, empty. You can see clearly empty orbitals for overlapping. Next one. Vacant orbitals of the metal atom undergo hybridization. For example, we have metal. Metal will have s orbitals, p orbitals, d orbitals. S orbital we show generally with 1 box, p orbital will show with 3 boxes, and d orbital will show with 5 boxes. We know, right? So the metal will have s orbital, p orbital, d orbitals. So, and these are vacant orbitals. Vacant means what? There are no electrons. So these vacant orbitals can combine or mix up to undergo hybridization. For example, if the metal coordination number is 4, is 4, so out of these orbitals, 4 orbitals will mix up to form a tetrahedral shape or square planar shape. We'll see the further details when I'm going for the application of valency bond theory. Just understand only one thing here. When orbitals of metal combine, if 4 orbitals combine, shape is either tetrahedral or square planar. If 6 orbitals combine, the shape will be octahedral. If 5 orbitals combine, the shape will be trigonal bipyramidal. These are the possible shapes. Okay, right. Next one. Fourth one. Metal atom in the presence of ligands can use n-1 d orbitals, ns orbitals, np orbitals, or ns, np, nd orbitals for hybridization. What is the meaning of this? For this, I need to use the electronic configuration of cobalt. Let's say cobalt atomic number is 27. Electronic configuration will be argon. So what I get? It will be 3d7 4s2, if at all I am not wrong. You might be knowing 3d7 4s2. Kindly note from your first year atomic structure chapter, for every atom we have nucleus. We have first shell, second shell, third shell, fourth shell. In the first orbit, we have which orbital? Only s orbital. Next one we have sp. Next one we have spd. Next we have spdf. Am I right? Now what I want is this is called as 2s, 3s, 4s. If you see the electronic configuration of cobalt, 3D. Where 3D? This is my 3D. Where is my 4s? This is my 4s. If you see clearly, there is, I'm using different color, check this properly. 4p we have, 4d I have, 4f also I have. But are they having any electrons? No. Meaning, this cobalt atom has 4p orbital with no electrons, 4d orbital with no electrons, 4f orbital with no electrons. So till now we never wrote anywhere the empty orbitals for electronic configuration, but in this topic we need. So we have 4p orbital with 0 electron, we have 4d orbital with 0 electrons we can write. So this is the electronic configuration of cobalt. You may think why I am not writing 4f. You can write if you want 4f0, but I am not using it. Leave it. Now what I want, if you see 3d7, how to write for 3d7? D means how many boxes? 5 boxes. 1 2 3 4 5. 4s means 1 box. 4p means 3 boxes. 4d means 5 boxes, like this. Now how many electrons are there in 3d? 3d you can see clearly there are 7 electrons. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Am I right? Now 4s how many electrons? 1 2. Now what I want is, this is for metal. So as per the point number 2 or 3, you can see metal atom uses what? Vacant orbitals. Meaning, if at all you see this metal, I cannot use this orbitals for my hybridization because not vacant. I cannot use this one, but I can use 4p because vacant. 4d I can use vacant. So meaning metal uses vacant p orbital, d orbital, or s orbital. If at all we have 5s, we can use it. Okay. So meaning metal uses empty orbitals, which are either s orbital or p orbital, d orbital, which are unfilled. Now what I want is, if you see here, this is, how many shells are there total? 4. Therefore this 4s, I can use ns. This is np because 4p. 4d means nd. But what about 3d? What do you call this one? Can I say nd? No, I can't call it because total is n. So this should be called as n minus 1d. n minus 1, n minus 1d. So if at all I'm using 3d, I call as n minus 1d. If I use 4s, we call as ns, np, nd. Now, depending on the requirement, I will be using either n minus 1d or nd. n minus 1d or nd. If I am using n minus 1d, if you see clearly, 3d is inside, therefore we call as inner orbital complex. For my hybridization, if I use n minus 1d, which means 3d orbitals, I call them as inner orbital complexes. If at all for my hybridization I am using 4d, I mean outside, 4d is outside, you can see here, outer orbital. So we call them as outer orbital complex. So kindly note, if I use 3d, inner orbital complex. If I use 4d, outer orbital complex for my hybridization. Okay. So next check out 6th point. When strong ligands like NH3, cyanide, carbon monoxide are used, Hund's rule will be violated. Kindly note, it's not part of valency bond theory, but I need to use it for the next class, so I am including this point. It's not part of valency bond theory. So when strong ligands like ammonia, cyanide, carbon monoxide are used, Hund's rule will be violated. So we'll see further details of this one. But remember, which are strong ligands? Ammonia is strong ligand, strong field ligand. Cyanide is strong field ligand. Carbon monoxide is strong field ligand. So I'll write once again, NH3, cyanide, and carbon monoxide. These three are very important. Remember this, strong field ligand there. Okay. So this is what about this one. I'll repeat once again all the postulates. Bonding in coordination compounds is due to overlapping of orbitals of metal and ligands. Ligands use lone pair of electrons and metal use empty orbitals. And empty orbitals of metal undergo hybridization. It may be coordination number 4, tetrahedral shape, coordination number 4, square planar, coordination number 6, octahedral, vice versa. Next, metal atom can use either ns orbital, np orbital, nd orbital, or ns orbital, np orbital, n minus 1d orbital. If n minus 1d is used, inner orbital complex. Nd is used, outer orbital complex. and Hund's rule will be violated if at all you have strong ligands. Okay, yes. Yes, now look at this application of valency bond theory. Very, very important for board exams. Compulsory 3-mark question comes from this one. Application of valency bond theory. This application of valency bond theory to explain structure of complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4. We are going to discuss in the next class. One of the 4 will be coming for 3 marks, important one, compulsory question. One of the 4 will be coming. Right. So to understand valency bond theory application for next class, I want you guys to learn the postulates of VBT what I had just given. Try to understand. Not going to learn actually. Try to understand. Okay, that's one thing. Second one, I'm giving you a homework. Everybody must learn. Actually, you must be knowing by this time. Scandium to zinc. I mean 21 to 30 elements. You must learn 21 to 30 elements. You must learn electronic configuration. Trust me guys, if at all you don't know electronic configuration of 21 to 30, it's going to be very difficult for the next class. You must learn. So please practice and be ready for the next class. Don't miss the class. Get ready. Okay, that's one thing. And one more thing is, I want to give you homework. I'm not sure how much you learned, but next class I'm going to give you one test. Next class I'm going to give you one test. The mode of test I still I'm yet to decide, but I'm going to give you a test. So get ready. Most probably next class we may be having our class maybe by Google Meet or by Zoom app, which means live class. So I can ask anyone to answer my questions. So be ready, learn the topics. Important things are isomerism and postulates of Warner's theory are the 2 important questions. So learn and get ready. So we'll see you in the next class. Thank you.